Questioner. Can you give me some kind of history of your social memory complex, and how you became aware of the law of one? Ra. I am Ra. The path of our learning is graven in the present moment. There is no history, as we understand your concept. Picture, if you will, a circle of being. We know the Alpha and Omega as infinite intelligence. The circle never ceases. It is present. The densities we have traversed at various points in the circle correspond to the characteristics of cycles. First, the cycle of awareness. Second, the cycle of growth. Third, the cycle of self-awareness. Fourth, the cycle of love or understanding. Fifth, the cycle of light or wisdom. Sixth, the cycle of light, love, light, or unity. Seventh, the gateway cycle. Eighth, the octave which moves into a mystery we do not plumb. Questioner. Thank you very much. In previous material, before we communicated with you, it was stated by the Confederation that there is actually no past or future, that all is present. Would this be a good analogy? Ra. I am Ra. There is past, present, and future in third density. In an overview such as an entity may have, removed from the space-time continuum, it may be seen that in the cycle of completion there exists only the present. We, ourselves, seek to learn this understanding. At the seventh level or dimension, we shall, if our humble efforts are sufficient, become one with all, thus having no memory, no identity, no past or future, but existing in the all. Questioner. Does this mean that you would have awareness of all that is? Ra. I am Ra. This is partially correct. It is our understanding that it would not be our awareness, but simply awareness of the Creator. In the Creator is all that there is. Therefore, this knowledge would be available. Questioner. I was wondering how many inhabited planets there are in our galaxy, and if they all reach higher density by the law of one. It doesn't seem that there would be any other way to reach higher density. Is this correct? Ra. I am Ra. Please restate your query. Questioner. How many inhabited planets are there in our galaxy? Ra. I am Ra. We are assuming that you intend all dimensions of consciousness or densities of awareness in this question. Approximately 1/5 of all planetary entities contain awareness of one or more densities. Some planetary spheres are hospitable only for certain densities. Your planetary sphere, for instance, is at this time hospitable to levels or densities 1, 2, 3, and 4. Questioner. Roughly how many total planets in this galaxy of stars that we are in are aware regardless of density? Ra. I am Ra. Approximately 67,000,067 million. Questioner. Can you tell me what percentage of those are third, fourth, fifth, sixth, etc. density? Ra. I am Ra. A percentage 17 for first density, a percentage 20 for second density, a percentage 27 for third density, a percentage 16 for fourth density, a percentage 6 for fifth density. The other information must be withheld. The free will of your future is not making this available. We shall speak on one item. There is a fairly large percentage, approximately 35% of the intelligent planets, which do not fit in the percentiles. These mysteries are of 6th and 7th density, and are not available for our speaking. Questioner. Of these first 5 densities, have all of the planets progressed from the 3rd density by knowledge and application of the law of one? Ra. I am Ra. This is correct. Questioner. Then the only way for a planet to get out of the situation that we are in is for the population to become aware of and start practicing the law of one. Is this correct? Ra. I am Ra. This is correct. Questioner. Can you tell me what percentage of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th density planets which you have spoken of here are negatively polarized towards service to self? Ra. I am Ra. This is not a query to which we may speak given the law of confusion. We may say only that the negatively or self-service-oriented planetary spheres are much fewer. To give you exact numbers would not be appropriate. Questioner. I would like to make an analogy as to why there are fewer negatively oriented, and then ask you if the analogy is good. In a positively oriented society with service to others, it would be simple to move a large boulder by getting everyone to help move it. In a society oriented towards service to self, it would be much more difficult to get everyone to work for the good of all to move the boulder. Therefore, it is much easier to get things done to create the service to others principle and to grow in positively oriented communities than in negatively oriented communities. Is this correct? Ra. I am Ra. This is correct. Questioner. Can you tell me how the Confederation of Planets was formed and why? Ra. I am Ra. The desire to serve begins in the dimension of love or understanding to be an overwhelming goal of the social memory complex. Thus, those percentiles of planetary entities, plus approximately 4% more of whose identity we cannot speak, found themselves long ago in your time seeking the same thing. Service to others. The relationship between these entities, as they entered an understanding of other beings, other planetary entities, and other concepts of service was to share and continue together these commonly held goals of service. Thus, each voluntarily placed the social memory complex data in what you may consider a central thought complex available to all. This then created a structure whereby each entity could work in its own service, while calling upon any other understandings needed to enhance the service. This is the cause of the formation and the manner of the working of the Confederation. Questioner. With such a large number of planets in this galaxy, you say that there are approximately 500 planets in the Confederation. There seems to be a relatively small number of Confederation planets around. Is there a reason for it? Ra. I am Ra. There are many confederations. This confederation works with the planetary spheres of 7 of your galaxies, if you will, and is responsible for the callings of the densities of these galaxies. Questioner. Would you define the word galaxy as you just used it? Ra. We use that term in this sense as you would use star systems. Questioner. I'm a little bit confused as to how many total planets then, roughly, does the Confederation that you are in serves? Ra. I am Ra. I see the confusion. We have difficulty with your language. The galaxy term must be split. We call galaxy that vibrational complex that is local. Thus, your sun is what we would call the center of a galaxy. We see you have another meaning for this term. Questioner. Yes. In our science, the term galaxy refers to the lenticular star system that contains millions and millions of stars. There was a confusion about this in one of our earlier communications, and I'm glad to get it cleared up. Using the term galaxy in the sense that I just stated, using the lenticular star system that contains millions of stars, do you know of evolution in other galaxies besides this one? Ra. I am Ra. We are aware of life and infinite capacity. You are correct in this assumption. Questioner. Can you tell me if the progression of life in other galaxies is similar to the progression in this one? Ra. I am Ra. The progression is somewhat close to the same, asymptotically approaching congruency throughout infinity. The free choosing of what you call galactic systems causes variations of an extremely minor nature from one of your galaxies to another. Questioner. Then the law of one is truly universal in creating a progression toward the 8th density in all galaxies. Is this correct? Ra. I am Ra. This is correct. There are infinite forms, infinite understandings, but the progression is one. Questioner. Is it I am assuming that it is not necessary for an individual to understand the law of one to go from the 3rd to the 4th density? Is this correct? Ra. I am Ra. It is absolutely necessary that an entity consciously realize it does not understand in order for it to be harvestable. Understanding is not of this density. Questioner. That is a very important point. I used the wrong word. What I meant to say was that I believe that it was not necessary for an entity to be consciously aware of the law of one to go from the 3rd to the 4th density. Ra. I am Ra. This is correct.